So this guy, Matt Callahan, couldn't figure out why his music kept dying every time he loaded Alibaba's site. Well, it turns out the page was firing inaudible tones into the browser's audio stack. But why? Welcome everyone to the Rainmaker Report. This is Andy Thompson, and here are 3 late-breaking cybersecurity stories that you need to know about. What we're dealing with here is audio fingerprinting. And it works because the way your specific hardware and software process those sounds will produce a unique signature. And here's the crazy part, okay? It works even if you block cookies, even if you use a VPN, or even run an incognito mode, okay? It's crazy. And here's how he stumbled onto all of this, okay? It turns out his headphones were connected to his phone and to his computer. And when the headphones received these sounds that humans couldn't hear, well, it dutifully switched over to the PC audio. Yeah. And this is really scary, okay? Because I really want you to listen here. No pun intended. Ad networks, they absolutely love this because there's no consent prompt, no visible artifact, and frankly, nothing to hear. Yeah. So if you don't want to be tracked by this, Firefox has this feature called resist fingerprinting. Make sure that's enabled. Another thing you could do would be to use a hardened browser like Brave. But I guess to sum this whole story up, all those cookie banners you see on every site, yeah, it's just security theater at this point. Moving on to our next story. Senator Ron Wyden wants the Government Accountability Office to audit how federal agencies hack not foreign targets, but Americans. You heard me. Yeah, Wyden sent a letter to the GAO asking them to review the FBI, the DEA, ICE's Homeland Security investigations, and the Secret Service. Specifically, he wants to know how they buy, deploy, and oversee hacking tools and commercial spyware against people inside the United States. The ask here really covers what vendors they're using, what legal authority they claim, and really whether anyone is actually checking their work. And my first impression of this is I think I like this, okay? We actually need this sort of public oversight because these agencies have been quietly building a lot of offensive capabilities for years. And again, with zero public accountability. And folks, you got to understand this thing here, okay, hacking American citizens by nation states, it's not hypothetical or science fiction. We know for a fact that commercial spyware like NSO's Pegasus have landed on American phones before. So as it stands right now, we don't really know the full scope of who's buying what, who's targeting who, or if there's any oversight of this. And there's a very important thing to note here, okay? Senator Wyden conveniently left out foreign citizens. Speaking of foreign citizens, the DOJ just indicted 17 Iranians tied to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps for one of the largest state-sponsored cyber theft campaigns ever charged. The target list included 144 American universities plus a bunch of other private sector companies. And their method was almost boring in its simplicity here, okay? It was just simple like password spraying, spear phishing aimed at professors, and then just quietly siphoning out research, intellectual property, and academic databases. Ultimately, we're talking about terabytes of stolen work funneled back to Iranian universities and IRGC-linked entities. And maybe I'm a little paranoid here, but this sort of intellectual property is quite a powerful bargaining chip in the world of geopolitics. Okay? Remember, Iran is allied with other foreign nations that absolutely gobble this sort of stuff up, like China. So, to quote the new Spider-Man movie, this isn't little potatoes here. This isn't ransomware or extortion, folks. This is a decades-long state-directed harvest of American research. Everything from engineering to medical science, all quietly being redirected to a hostile government. And here's my tech angle here, okay? Universities are historically known to be one of the softest targets in critical infrastructure. I can attest to this. You would not believe how many of my old clients were still running like flat networks and reusing faculty passwords. So if you're in higher ed security, please, please, please take this as your mandate, okay? Enforce MFA on faculty accounts today, not next semester. All right, folks. Well, that about wraps up today's stories. This is Andy Thompson signing off.